What's up, guys? Ronin man here. Here's some dirt, some fucking dirt, and here's some more fucking rocks. Here's some fucking trenches. There's a goddamn wheelbarrow, and here's some fucking grass, right? So what? Yeah, fucking stupid thing to put on a video. Today I'm gonna talk about reverse culture shock, being a man, and my journey. So I was gone. I left the U.S. fucking 28 years ago. I left, man. A lot of people don't really understand what the fuck that means. I mean, of course, how could you, right? If you haven't done it, but I don't want to say. But I left 28 years ago, lived in Asia since then. I'm back here, my brother's backyard right now. I just finished mowing the lawn. And I always want to tell you kind of some stuff I go through, and I think it relates to guys in general. That's why I want to talk about it. So I got here, right? And a few weeks ago, you guys saw my videos, right? Got to Boston. I'll be here till August 5th, and so I got out here. My brother is he's like a handyman. He fucking does everything. He fucking made this fucking deck, puts the jacuzzi in there, he builds everything. He puts additions on his house. He helps other people do stuff, right? He's always doing something cool. And one day he said to me when I was visiting one time, he said, it's kind of a shame you went to Asia because you would have been better at my job than me. You were more natural at this kind of shit, cutting things, sawing things. I fucking loved it as a kid, right? And as a kid, I remember I used to mow the lawn to make money. That was my job. That was my very first job, was mowing lawns. I was in first grade or second grade. I couldn't use a lawnmower yet, so I had to use scissors. So I cut the whole lawn with scissors. That's what I used to do in first grade. And I think I got $1 or $2 for a yard. We lived in a trailer park in Tucson. So I just would fucking cut someone's lawn with my scissors. And it took a long time, but to me it was no big deal. And I had nothing to do anyway. So I just fucking finished the lawn. I got a fucking $1. I was stoked, right? And, but either way, then I started mowing real lawns when I was a little bit older. Then I stopped and I got into car washing. Car washing was my big thing, my big money maker as a kid. I did the fucking paper route thing, but car washing was my money, was my gold, right? I could flip a car out pretty fast, and guys would always give me I don't know why, men would always give good tips for when a little kid washes a car, does a good job or tries hard, And also they used to teach me shit. This one guy, I washed his truck, right? He was like a hardcore construction worker, right? And I washed his truck and I did a shitty job. I was lazy that day. And he got up to me and he was always really nice and give me a big tip every time, right? This day he was not nice. He was a total fucking asshole. And he yelled at me. I think he might have been drunk, but either way, he yelled at me really fucking blew me away. He was yelling at me hardcore. And then he kicked his bumper and this big fucking chunk of mud came out, probably 10 inches thick. He had under his bumper was mud. And he just kicked this huge chunk out. He says, "You didn't even fucking clean out their car. This is shit." And he left. He paid me what he owed me, but he didn't pay me a tip. And but he basically told me I was in whatever 6th grade or whatever. But he's basically he said to me you're a fucking man. Stop being a fucking douche, Here I am in 6th grade, right? I'm like, God, fuck, that's kind of harsh. But hey, man, that guy, I'm always grateful to that guy. I don't feel a warm feeling when I think about him. Don't get me wrong, but I feel grateful because he treated me like a fucking man. He told me I was wrong, I was being slouching, I was being lazy, man. And he pointed out, he showed me, kicked the mud out, showed me underneath the fucking truck, right? We're looking at under the truck and I'm like, man, he's right. I'm a fucking idiot. I didn't even notice because I was so used to cleaning cars. Wasn't used to doing work trucks, basically is what it was. That was the main thing. It wasn't just that I was lazy. It was just that he had a work truck and fucking work truck, was just covered in mud, right? Desert mud, right? And so either way, so I learned a great lesson doing these jobs, right? So I used to mow the lawn. So I came here last week. I was here with my brother. It's Saturday, right? It's time to mow the fucking lawn. I just finished mowing the lawn, by the way, which I'm proud of, So my brother says to me last week, he's I literally have never lived in the U.S., you guys. You guys don't even probably have any idea what that means to me. What it means. I'll tell you what it means. It's stupid fucking shit like this. When I was over in Vegas and I was living with the bottle girl for a while, and it came day for trash day to take out the garbage cans. And the first few weeks I was there, she put the garbage cans out because I can't explain to you guys. If you've never put garbage cans out, if you've never had to put garbage cans out, it's like rocket science or something. I swear. I know this is going to sound so weird to you guys who grew up in America. But unless because nobody ever, these basic things in life, nobody ever tells you how to do them because they just assume you know how to do them. You tie your shoes, fucking put out the trash. I don't know, like in Asia, I always have like a chute, right? Outside my room, I always have a chute. As soon as my bag is full, I just go out there and fucking throw the garbage down the chute, and that's it, it's gone. Never have to see it again. I don't have to separate anything. I throw it down the goddamn chute, and it is fucking gone. In China, right? And some poor people go and separate it out and do their, make money off of it, right? So, like, they're actually grateful. The more I put in there, the more stuff I put in there, they're stoked, like if I just mix a lot of stuff in there, like food and some fucking old computer parts and, some copper, they're fucking stoked, right? They get my garbage first in fucking Shanghai because I always had the best garbage. So like it's opposite of like other countries where you want to like clean up. In fact, in China, like if you just throw garbage on the ground, people consider that like helping the poor. I swear to God. I don't know if it's still like that, but when I was there, it's definitely like that. Like if you have an empty plastic bottle, like the worst thing you do is throw it in the garbage can, because then the poor guy is going to come by looking for bottles in a few minutes, who he used to get 1 renminbi for 36 bottles, which is like 6 renminbi to $1. So he needed like 36 times 6 just to get $1. But him, a bottle was a big deal, like a clean bottle with a top on it and everything. He was stoked, right? So the best thing you could do is leave it outside, put it on the ground or put it on a counter or something, and then the poor guy come by, the bottle guy comes by, right? And I knew all the bottle guys, because you guys know I walk like a fucking madman. And the bottle guys, they all knew me because I was always walking around with them. They knew my face. They're like, who's this weird foreigner who walks more than we do, And so I'd always make sure I fucking gave them a bottle. And then if I didn't see them, I just leave it on the ground. And I knew that they would pick it up. And sure enough, if I waited a few minutes, I'd see the guy come and smile and kind of nod at me like, thank you, and then take it, right? So if you put it in the garbage can in China back then you were fucking them over, because then the garbage guy is going to come and get it. And then they're going to take it to his guys who are going to get it. And they're kind of like government people. So they're not like, you're not like helping people, right? When you give the bottle to some random guy, you're like actually helping a real person, right? It's not going to some group or whatever, So things are different overseas, guys. It's just different, right? So the garbage thing, believe it or not, is a fucking like rocket science to me, like taking out the garbage. And I remember when I'd stay at my dad's house, he'd fucking give me shit about the garbage. And I'd always forget, like I was like, oh, the garbage out today, I fucking didn't remember, right? And so I was with this girl, bottle girl in Vegas, and I just didn't put out the garbage. Somehow it seemed too complicated to me. I thought, I'll put it out, and then I don't know. I wasn't really thinking like this is China or something. I just was confused by the whole fucking concept of putting out garbage. And so that she put it out, but I could tell she's getting pissed off. So I remember one day she left to go do some work, and I was alone, right? And then I realized, holy shit, it's garbage day, Like I was a genius or something, I'm Richard Feynman. So I'm just like, garbage day, garbage cans, I'll put them out. So I went out to the garage, opened the garage door, which all this stuff you don't do in Asia. You don't have a garage, you don't have a yard, you don't mow the lawn, you don't fucking put out garbage. You just throw shit out and they take it, right? That's what it is in most countries, right? So either way, so I felt like a genius, right? I put the garbage out, man. I turned them around like 40 times, making sure the right way was towards the truck, I'm like turning the garbage around. I'm looking at all the garbage in the area, like trying to line them all up and everything. I'm making this a big deal. And the thing is, though, I wasn't doing it on purpose. It's just like, to me, like, I was kind of worried I was going to put them wrong and the guy wasn't going to fucking take my garbage, If I put them backwards, I thought, I know those guys are lazy, so they're not going to even, if the garbage is turned the wrong way, the can's this way, and then the machine goes like this and picks it up, the guy's not going to fucking do it, right? I think I had done that once. So I felt like kind of an idiot with garbage, believe it or not. So either way, I put the garbage out. The guy came by and took them. And I watched him, like different trucks came by. There was like the recycle guy, the other guy. Like I watched him pull up, I watched him take it. I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, the garbage is now officially gone, man. I took out the garbage cans. And I was all proud of myself. And then I took them back in, right? So she came home. And I thought she was going to say, oh, you took out the garbage. That's cool, thanks. I forgot about it. And she didn't say anything. She basically had no idea what I was feeling any day of the week, of any day of any topic, and didn't care. But I was like super like, yeah, man, I'm figuring this shit out, man. I'm getting down with this shit because I got skills like crazy. I don't feel insecure. Like I can't do something stupid. It doesn't mean I'm stupid. It just means I don't know that one fucking thing. Right? That's all it means. It doesn't mean I don't take it personally. It's like you wouldn't either if you fucking were in Asia. You wouldn't fucking know either, you guys listening. You'd be just like me. Trust me. It's like fucking confusing, right? And just like you go over there, you're gonna be all fucking confused all the time with all the garbage and all the rules and how to do this and how to do that and how to be a good person. It's different in every country, right? It's not the same. Different fucking rules. And you get used to them after 30 years, trust me. They become normal to you. You don't, not because you're American or you're a certain skin color, some shit that you're going to be understanding this stuff. It's not like that, guys. It's like I'm like some guy who owns a fucking I'm like some Korean guy who owns a fucking, dry cleaning place, man. I don't know anything here, man. Seriously, man, I don't know. So either way, when I do something, I feel super good about it, even if it's something really fucking stupid, right? So, okay, so the garbage thing. So then I come to my brother's house, right? We're at the yard. I haven't come out here last week. And I said to my brother, and my brother knows me pretty well. I mean, we're like really close. So I'm out here and I said, and like he's not letting me do any like chores because he secretly my brother knows me really well. So he secretly knows that I don't know what I'm doing. Like I have no idea what I'm doing on any of this. So I could break his lawnmower, I could like break the blade on something, I could run over some plant, or I could, easily could do any of those things. And that's true, right? But my brother's fucking cool. He's not going to say it. But I mean, at the same time, he also knows I could fuck it up pretty easy, right? So either way, so then I was like last week, I'm like, he was doing all the work around the house, and I'm like, finally I'm getting frustrated. I'm trying to explain to him, like, dude, I want to do work, like I want to, and he's kind of like, he's like, yeah, don't worry about it, just relax, you can stay here, you got nothing to worry about, don't worry about it. I'm like, no, man, you don't understand, man. I like to be valuable, man. I like to earn my keep. He's like, you don't have to earn your keep, man. You're just fucking hanging here for a while. Then you're going to split, right? So don't even worry about it, But I no, man, you don't understand. So I tried to sit there and explain to him for like an hour. And finally he's like, okay, mow the lawn. So I go out and get the lawnmower. And when I pulled it out, man, I was fucking stressing because I couldn't, like, this is the weird thing about culture shock too, is that reverse culture shock, is you think you know stuff that you don't know, and other people think you know stuff and you don't know, and then you know tons of stuff that nobody understands, okay? So like tons of information, like you're fucking smart, right? I speak like 3-4 languages, I'm fluent, I've had businesses in all different areas, I worked in investment banking to fucking working in a sawmill in Sweden, lifting logs and driving trucks. I mean, I've done a lot of stuff, right? But that doesn't mean you know all these little things. You just don't know, right? So I got the lawnmower now, but I thought I should know. I'm looking at the lawnmower, I'm thinking, swear to God, I was confused as fuck last week. I'm looking at the lawnmower, like, lawnmower, okay, lawnmower. And I couldn't figure out why I was so confused looking at the lawnmower. I was like kind of scared of it. I'm like, okay, lawnmower. So I was thinking there's got to be a choke somewhere. I'm looking for the choke, couldn't find the choke. So I couldn't start the lawnmower, right? I tried to pull the string a bunch of times and nothing was happening. So I was like, this is the other thing when you're culture shocked, man, you hate asking questions because it's something so stupid. I mean, what could be easier and stupider than a goddamn lawnmower? That's the easiest thing. Any moron, I mean, a 4-year-old girl knows what to do, right? But I don't, right? So I said to my brother, I can't start the lawnmower. And then he's like, oh, you got to hold this handle while you pull the string thing. He's like, there's no choke. You just hold this thing, and then you got to hold it down, and you let it go, and the engine turns off. Got it, man. I got it, right? I'm a pro. So lawnmower, I start it. I'm kind of cruising around. And if you notice, the lawn, because we're working on the backyard, making a wall, there's like grass everywhere, right? So you got to go over this dirt here, not hit the rocks, right? And then you got to go over there, kind of over there, right? There's all these things to go by and everything. So I'm kind of like, should I stop the engine here and then start it over here? Like I'm going to go over here. Am I going to hit these rocks? Am I going to break the lawnmower? So I'm kind of doing wheelies with it, trying to figure it out, right? Trying to go over here. Didn't want to break things like that, right? The plastic thing. You break that, it's going to cost money, right? Pipes and shit down there, right? You don't want to break that. So, like things like that are all over the place, right? In this yard. So I'm like, fuck, and I don't want to break the mower either, because my brother's the kind of guy who uses things for 400 years like me. His car's got like 250,000 miles, right? Same as me. That's exactly what I think. So I figured it out last week. I did a kind of a half-assed job. I'll show you something I was kind of proud of last week. Is I looked over here at this area here, and I thought, I didn't think there was enough room for a lawnmower in here, so I kind of thought you had to do this by hand. But I kind of figured out that he had planned it exactly the right width for the lawnmower. So I kind of like, I feel like a genius last week. I was like, I got it in there, I squeezed it past this thing here. You got to kind of hit that thing to get it in there, right? And then you get it in there and you go down there. And I was like, I got it, man. I told him, I said, you put just enough space in there for the lawnmower. He's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, cool. So last week I still feel like an idiot with the lawnmower. So that was last Saturday. So now this Saturday is Saturday. I wake up, all of a sudden I'm thinking like Americans are different, right? Americans do like chores, right? But Asians, there's no chores in Asia, guys. Like I had a company with 800 maids. We used to send maids out to every company, real estate, maids. We did all kinds of stuff. Like I never did any work in Asia. Okay, when you live in Asia, unless you're poor, you don't do any work. Okay, you do your job, whatever your job is. In my case was investing and being an entrepreneur, right? So you don't do anything. You don't clean any toilets. You don't do anything like that. You're not supposed to. Now I always did, which always kind of made people look down on me, some rich people look down on me in China because they're like, why is this guy cleaning the toilet? I'm like, I always felt like you kind of had to do something sometimes. And I'm not saying you have to, but I just kind of felt that way. And I did it sometimes. And I'd get down with the poor guys and be painting or something. But it was just kind of like as a hobby whenever I wanted to, right? It wasn't like I had to. I had no chores in Asia, guys. I didn't even have to make food because I had a maid. I had a full-time maid. She'd just come in and make food. And she watched me cook, and then I taught her how to make food, so she'd just make whatever I wanted. She made coffee exactly the way I wanted. As soon as my coffee was done, she had another pot ready. And she was a really nice maid, too. She was very sweet and nice to have around. So I was used to that, And you probably think, oh, yeah, you rich fuck, you made... Listen, this is culture, right? If you lived there, it'd be exactly the same for you, man. You'd have a maid, too. In China, the fucking maids have maids. I'm serious. Our maid had a maid. A lower level maid, but she had a maid. And then the other maid would do the work that she was doing, and she would work with us, where she got paid pretty well, and then she would go pay the super cheap maid that would do her stuff, right? And then there was probably a lower level maid below her. I didn't even know about it, but I bet there was. I bet her maid had a maid. I bet you. Some kind of maid, some kind of, older woman who did something for her that when she was out working, right? So it's like, that's how it is. You get the high value, and then you pay someone to do the lower value, and then it's just like that for everybody, right? And the poor people in China always have people doing stuff for them too, right? Just like you pay them. So they're not looking down on them, and they're not looking down on themselves. They're just they know they're in this particular area of life, and you're here, and they're here, and sometimes they're going to be here, and that's what you have to accept. In China, like, things change. Like, our maids can easily end up being richer than me easily over time, right? Because shit changes, right? You're never like, it's not stable, right? You're not like always the same, right? So either way, so this week, I still feel uncomfortable about the goddamn mower, right? So back to the mower. I get the mower out this morning. I realize it's Saturday. I'm like, oh, Americans, and my brother's American, right? Does chores on Saturday. Like, again, it's like I'm Richard Feynman figuring out some kind of law of physics. I'm like, yeah, Americans do chores on Saturday. I'm like, this would be obvious if you lived here, right? But I'm just like, it's Saturday, chores, the lawn, and I know how to use the mower now, so I'm gonna go fucking mow the lawn, right? So I said to my brother, as soon as I realized that, I'm like, I'll go mow the lawn. So I get the lawnmower out. Not only do I know where it is, I know how to start it, and I started to go, and I started to do it. And this week was really easy. Like, I actually cruised over everything. You can see I just mowed the lawn, right? And I got a pretty decent job done, pretty fast. I jammed through it, right? Now, when I was doing the lawn, all of a sudden I realized all this stuff, and that's why I'm making this video. All of a sudden I realized, like, why I was so uncomfortable with the lawnmower. You know why I was so uncomfortable with the lawnmower? You would not believe this. I actually was kind of blown away when I thought about it. The reason why is because the last time I mowed a lawn, was when I was a little kid. That's the last time I mowed the lawn. Literally. I mowed the lawn back when I was probably, let me think here, because we moved to an apartment at a certain age. So probably third grade is the last time I mowed a lawn. So 1970, let's say 1974. So 1974 is the last time I used a lawnmower. And I was pretty good back then because I used to do all our neighbors' lawns, right? That was like my job. I just go around and mow people's lawns. So actually I have pretty high skill with the lawnmower once I get warmed up. Because as a little kid, you learn things really well, right? You're pretty tricky with the thing, getting it around corners and fucking squeezing in things, little kids, It's like a kid on a bike, right? He learns how to ride the bike way better than an adult, right? And so I was okay. I consider myself pretty good with the lawnmower, but not doing it since 1974. Now it's 2018, right? So it's been a while, right? 26, 36, 40. Oh my gosh, it's been like 44 years since I've mowed a lawn, right? 44 years, man. I have not started a lawnmower or used a lawnmower or even watched anybody mow the lawn for 44 years. So I really enjoyed it, man. I can't wait for next Saturday, man. I can't wait to mow the lawn next week. We're going to be camping, so I'm going to have to figure out how to mow it early or something, or like when I get back or whatever. But either way, I'm really getting into it. And I'm just going to end it on this one funny note because my friend Eric, right, from Japan, he has a house with a yard, which is super unusual in Japan, really unusual. This is his second house. I mean, he has a first house in Tokyo, but he's also got this one with a yard. And the reason why he has a yard is exactly what I'm talking about. It's like, I think, like his favorite thing to do is mow the lawn and cut the plants. Like, he would send me pictures of himself wearing a full Japanese gardener's outfit with the hat with the flaps on the back and stuff, like the really funny ones. And then him mowing the lawn, he was like, my favorite thing to do. And I couldn't understand. I always thought he was stupid because I never liked to do stuff like that, But and he sent me this like probably 15 years ago. I finally understand what he was doing. I'm going to send this video to him. I finally understand what he was doing. He was connecting with his American self. You know what I mean? It's like his American, he was like me. He had lived in Asia forever. And it's like you start to lose this kind of connection to who you are and your background and like the earth. Like you just don't do this stuff in Asia. Nobody even has yards. Like a typical Chinese apartment would be like, and we're talking $1 million, multi-million-dollar apartments, would be a place that people would live, would be an apartment, and it would be a complex with 4,000 apartments. And there would be one garden area in the middle. And of course that was maintained by the cooperation. You know, nobody would do it themselves, right? Now, back in like say 1920, you know, the Good Earth and stuff, people would till the land in China. But now it's completely different. And a lot of it is just simply because there's so many people in such a small area. It's not even about culture. It's just about the amount of people in this one area. There's too many. You can't have a yard. It's impossible. So, and the thing is, even if you're rich and you have a huge yard, then it's kind of like totally looked down upon to do any yard work. And also, nobody can do anything in Asia. Like, no guys, like, it's not manly to fucking do the things that you guys think are manly, right? It's all different, right? And I'm not saying that for myself either. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying like this is the manly thing to do. Now I love mowing yards. I'm just commenting on like the things I'm learning as I'm back in the States now. And you know, I don't know if I'm going to stay here or not, but it's like I'm learning a lot about myself, and it's super fucking interesting. It's super, super interesting. If you live overseas, man, if you ever go overseas or you lived away from a place for a long time, you're probably going to start to think, listening to me talk, you're probably going to think of things that you kind of brought up in your mind, right? Like things that you moved away from that you lost. And then you realize like it's not that you have to do it or anything. It's just this kind of, I don't know, it's like this connection to your real self or something, or connection to some part of you. You know what I mean? It's something pretty heavy, actually. And I really love mowing the lawn right now. All right, guys, Ronin Man signing off. We're going to do some more work here, figure out something. Maybe I'll find something else like the yard. But I doubt I'll have such a big realization as like this time, because this time it all kind of came out of nowhere and just came over me. And I grabbed the phone and decided to record it for you guys. So have a good Saturday and carry on, man.